Hey people, what's up? It's me again, Junkmonster3, and I'm finally back with another video for you guys. And since very many people seem to really enjoy these videos, that rare movies in my collection, I decided to make another one of these rarities, and I've decided to focus more on the Swedish and the Scandinavian releases. So just to make it clear, like I don't want to make that long videos, because if you make really long videos you tend to get a little bit annoying after a while, or that's just my opinion. I can just imagine if you cannot stand me talking about movies for more than maybe 10 minutes. So that's the reason why I haven't picked out that many, so I decided to make it in like a series instead, so I can make more videos instead of making one really long video and you'll be bored to tears. So yeah, and I know for sure that I have been quite lazy when it comes to answering your comments, and I promise you that I will do that as soon as I've recorded this video. So yeah, but now enough with the talking. Now let's show the movies that I have in my collection, which are quite rare. So yeah, let's begin right away. The first two movies are not horror related. One is like a children's film, and the other one is a drama movie. So yeah, the first one is Pokemon, the first movie. Now this Swedish release is really hard to come across and out of print, and I sort of have a nostalgic feeling to it because I grew up with this, and but I still really hate it. I mean, I watched the TV series as well, but I stopped to watch them after like Ash dumped all of his old Pokemons and like replaced them with newer ones. Well, they still had Pikachu, I guess, but yeah, this release is goes for insane money from time to time, and I believe the second one is even harder to come across than even the third one. But the second one is probably the hardest to get a hold of. This is probably the easiest ones to come across, but yeah, this is really hard to come across from time to time, and people demand quite much money for it, and I do not really understand why. But yeah, I guess it's sort of because it has like a nostalgic value towards very many people. So yeah, Pokemon, the first movie, and this also includes the. I think this also includes that Pikachu short movie on this. I'm not too sure. Maybe that's another reason why people want this DVD or whatever. So yeah, Pokemon, the first movie. And then we have a movie called Arizona Dream with Johnny Depp and let's see here, Johnny Depp, Faye Dunaway, Jerry Lewis. To be honest, I was not the biggest fan of this movie, but this is another movie which I rarely see for sale like anywhere. I'm not too sure. I guess most people want to watch this movie because it's like an earlier Johnny Depp movie, like before he got really famous in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Of course, he was already like famous for Nightmare on Elm Street because that was like his first movie. But yeah, whatever. I'm not too sure why this movie is so like hard to come across and people like really want to pay that much money for it. But yeah, anyway, Arizona Dream. And then a movie which I really enjoyed, and I'm sure this might have been in the top 10 list that I made about true crime movies. And this is actually a TV movie which came out in the mid 90s, I believe. And the movie is Citizen X. This is a great made for TV movie, and actually one of the best real life crime movies that I've ever seen, because the cast is really great. I mean, Donald Sutherland. Donald Sutherland is probably the guy who really makes this movie, and also the guy who plays let's see here, Stephen Rea. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. And Max von Sydow also has a small role, not the biggest role, but still an interesting role. I'm not too sure what that other guy was called. There's another guy in this who was in the Mighty Ducks movies. I'm not too sure what his name. I think it was like Joss Eklund or something. Yeah, it was really great as well. I mean, all of the people in this movie are really great, and even the guy who plays Andrei Chicolito is awesome because it's really creepy. I mean, since this is based on a true story, this is probably one of the worst serial killers like of all time. For sure in Russia, because people in this movie wants to, not the people in the movie, but the the real life people really wanted to deny that there was a serial killer in Russia because they don't want to look foolish in front of the Americans. So yeah, because they felt ashamed of that or something. So yeah, Citizen X, great film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But this Swedish release is quite hard to come across. So yeah, whatever. And then a movie which I haven't even seen yet, and that's basically because it is like over 3 or 4 hours long, and it is Philosophy of Knife. Now you might ask yourself, why is this edition so hard to come across? Because I've seen it on sale like everywhere. But something that's special with this particular release is that this was released in just in the beginning. I'm not really sure because it's a 3-disc limited edition, like you can see there, and the newer releases only have 2 discs. The difference between these 2 releases is that this particular release has the movie soundtrack as well on the 3rd disc, which the 2 disc doesn't have, I believe. So that's the reason why this is much more rare than the other release. So yeah, sure, it is a limited edition as well, so that's maybe the reason why. So yeah, Philosophy of a Knife, I've not seen it yet, but like I mentioned before, it's so goddamn long, so that's probably the reason why I haven't seen it yet. And the next couple of films are some Lucio Fulci movies, and now I know for sure that you might be able to get these movies like from time to time for a decent price, but these Swedish editions I have seen go for quite much money, so that's the reason why I included them in this rarities video or whatever. First up we have City of the Living Dead, released by Nuta Films or Another World Pictures or whatever, and I actually did rewatch this like a couple of days ago, and I liked it even more than I did the first time. The first time I watched it, maybe I was tired or something and I didn't care for it, but this has such a special atmosphere to it, and that's the reason why I enjoyed it so much. Like all the fog and the gore effects, and yeah, it might not be the best acting in the world, but the movie itself is really atmospheric, and I guess that's one of the reasons why people really love Lucio Fulci as much as I do. So yeah, and the gore effects, like I mentioned, they are like hilarious and really awesome to watch. So yeah, City of the Living Dead, great soundtrack as well. And the next one is another Lucio Fulci movie, The Beyond, the second part in that Gates of Hell trilogy or whatever. Yeah, this needs no other introduction. This is complete uncut. Yeah, Lucio Fulci's macabre masterpiece, uncut version, released by the same company which released City of the Living Dead. If you ever get your hands on these, I mean, if you ever find these for a decent price, pick them up right away. You will not be disappointed. And then we have Zombie Flesh Eaters, so also known as Zombie 2, and also known as Zombies, like known for so many type of names. I actually joked a little bit with a friend that they always seem to get confused because I believe in Italy this is called Zombie 2 just because it felt like a sequel to George Romero's movie Dawn of the Dead, and in Scandinavia and in most of the countries here in Europe it's called Zombie Flesh Eaters, and in the US it's called Zombie basically. So yeah, there you have that story. So yeah, made in 1979, really once again Lucio Fulci really knew how to make really cool and atmospheric movies. So and this particular scene with the eye is really gruesome and really awesome at the same time. So yeah, Zombie Flesh Eaters. And then a movie which not George Romero, but this is a movie which Lucio Fulci did not even want to admit that he directed because he got sick while he made this movie, and the movie is Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, also known as Zombie 3. So some weird things outside. Well, anyway, Zombie Flesh Eaters 2. This is I might be getting hated for this because I actually enjoyed this movie much more than the first one. Maybe because it felt so. It had like everything. It has like cool atmosphere from time to time, and it has cool action sequences and gore and all of that things. All of those things. I'm not too sure why Lucio Fulci. I mean, no one wants to claim like that they directed this movie, because Lucia Fulci got sick. He actually had a stroke during the making of this film, and Bruno Mattei and Claudio Fragoso was also the two people that had to step in to help Lucia Fulci to complete the film. And yeah, the later one is actually the guy who directed Troll 2 and also directed the sequel to this. So yeah, but it's cheesy fun. It's an entertaining movie. So yeah. Now let's see. I've been mumbling for 10 minutes now. I have to speed up. I only have 2 titles left. The next one might not be like that hard to come across or that expensive, but Progeny, it pops up from time to time. I guess it's not that rare, but I mean, if you find it, you usually find it you might find it for quite a good price, but sometimes it's really hard to come across it at all. So that's the reason why I included this in this list or this video. So yeah, Progeny with Arnold Vosloo, most famous for maybe the Mummy movies, playing Imhotep. And the last release is the Swedish release for Peeping Tom. Now I had to pay quite much for this, to be honest, but I've never seen this movie and always wanted to get this particular release of it, because this is like a very old Swedish release, and I think this is the hardest Swedish release of this movie to come across. So yeah, Peeping Tom, really hard to come across, and I have not seen it yet, so really need to check this one out. Thank you very much for watching, and sorry for going over 10 minutes right now, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes when you're really interested in the movies and when you want to talk about the movies for quite a long time. So yeah, and yeah, that's the reason why I did not pick out that many titles. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and didn't get bored, and I hope to see you again as soon as possible. So see you next time. Bye bye.